Welcome to the sixth and final video in the how-to series, where we will look at the different ways you can see the results of your plan, understand what they're telling you, and most importantly, what you can do about them if you don't like what you see. So, in the results menu, you can choose to visit your results displayed either in a summary format as 4 graphs. You can also go to the results of your property plan, look at some 3-year targets, and the tracker, which shows you all the detail of how your plan is working year by year. We looked in detail at the 4 graphs in the second how-to video, but let's just have a quick recap. Graphs 1 and 2 work on the basis that there are only 3 things you can do with your income: spend it on today, save it for tomorrow, or pay it in tax. Graph 1 shows total income and where it's planned to come from, earnings, investment returns, pension income from the state, and any occupational pensions as well as any other income. If and when you need income to cover your tax and spend, especially in your later years when you are likely to have stopped earning, the orange here shows the income you will need from withdrawing some of the investments you have made for tomorrow. Graph 2 shows the other side of the coin from Graph 1. In other words, it's exactly the same total amount, but shows the 3 ways you can use your total income from Graph 1 spread across everyday lifestyle spending, saving for tomorrow, and tax. Graph 3 shows a breakdown of the amount that has been saved for tomorrow in each year of the plan, as well as if and when any outstanding debts will be repaid. And finally, Graph 4, which is really just a summary of Graph 3 and shows how much money is left in the plan at the end of each year. It's titled Available Money because it allows for items such as pension funds that might not be available until you reach a minimum age, which is currently 55, but soon to rise to 56 and 57. If this line is below 0 at any point in the plan, we say that the plan is negative and it's recommended that you revisit your choices until it becomes positive. In other words, there is at least some available cash at the end of each year. The 4 graphs are a great way to see a summary of your plan, but what if you see something in the graphs that you don't understand, or you would just like to have a better idea of how your plan is working and moving your money around the big picture? For that, you can choose if you want to use the annual tracker. You can select the plan year you want to see by either entering the number directly here or by clicking to move up and down by 1 year at a time. You can see the age of each person for that plan year just over here. The tracker displays every movement of money around your plan in any 1 year. If you've seen the big picture video and how it connects your money islands together with pipes and taps, then this tracker is showing how your money is flowing around that system. The first part of the tracker is set out like graphs 1 and 2 and shows the detail of how your total income equals today, tomorrow, and tax. As you scroll down, you can see how the plan is managing your money flows into and out of your investments and debts, and how much they therefore change during the year. You can see the amount each person is planning to pay each year in income tax, dividend tax, and national insurance. And this table shows all the individual movements that have increased your savings for tomorrow by adding to assets or repaying debts, while the table below shows the amounts that have been withdrawn from your tomorrow savings. If you're not a fan of all this detail, then you don't need to spend any time with the tracker, but for those who are curious about what is happening behind the scenes and how TNT builds the graphic summaries, then the tracker is the place to go. The next result summary we look at are the 3-year targets. You might be thinking that it is all well and good building a plan to be 100, but what does it mean in the short term, and how do you get moving in the right direction? This is the only time in your plan when inflation is allowed back into the numbers so that you can target an approximation of the actual numbers you need to see if you are going to follow your plan for the first 3 years. You can see that there are targets for the different types of income, spending, saving to ISAs, pensions and other investments, and finally your investment returns, or the amounts that you should be seeing your investments increase by as a result of where and how they are invested. Remember that your plan uses long-term averages for things like investment returns, so the actual returns in any 1 year are likely to be different, but at least you have an average figure that you can compare against to know if it has been a good or a bad year compared to your plan. You also have to consider how you might collect the actual numbers. For example, how much is your lifestyle spending in any 12-month period? It will be an interesting number to know, but you will need to work out a way to total credit cards and bank statements if you are to have a good idea of this total. There are an increasing number of apps that you can use to make this less of a chore, and tracking your T&T plan might be a good reason to start using one if you haven't already done so. We looked at how to build your property plan in the 5th video. Now we can look at how T&T summarizes your property results. Don't forget that all these figures use the average annual real change in property values you have set in the plan assumption to calculate the price at which you plan to buy and sell your property. Table 1 shows for each planned move how much you were planning to sell any previous property for and the purchase price of the new property, including any stamp duty tax. Table 2 shows how you are planning to finance this total purchase cost, which can include a combination of equity in your previous property, mortgage borrowing, and your own savings. Also shown here is the equity you plan to have in any property you own at the end of your plan. This equity is held apart from your other assets that are shown in graph 3 and is kept as either insurance against significant later life costs such as long-term care or as an amount you can leave as an inheritance. Table 3 shows the amounts that will be linked into your T&T plan provided that you are using the detailed option 2 in the planned lifestyle tool. Other spending is the total contribution required from your savings to pay for the balance of the property price and any stamp duty for each purchase, and other income is any equity in a previous property that is not needed for a purchase and is therefore released at the time of the sale. The average monthly and annual mortgage and or rental payments for each life phase that are calculated using the choices you have made in the property plan are shown down here. That should hopefully give you a good idea of the various ways in which you can see the results of your plan. Whether you want to see a graphic summary, all the details of a particular year, the actual targets you should be aiming for in the first 3 years of your plan, or just the results of your property plan. What can you do, however, if you don't like what you see? Maybe you are running out of money, working too long, or having to take a lot of investment risk just to make your plan work. Working around your choices and adjusting how they interact with each other until you have a plan that you feel comfortable with is what we call balancing your plan. You might already know what you need to change, but if you're looking for some ideas, then this table might give you some ideas. Depending on whether your challenge is that you have too much or too little money in your plan. You can see the 7 choices listed down the middle with suggestions for how you might balance your plan in each case. You might think that having too much money is not a problem, but it might be an indicator that your plan is unbalanced. What are the choices you are making that create too much? Maybe your work life is not in balance. Maybe you aren't spending enough to make the most of today. Maybe you will get a lot of enjoyment using your surplus money to help charity or family. These are all conscious choices that you can make with your money if you know where you're going and you have a plan. Congratulations if you've now watched all of the how-to videos. You should now have all the knowledge you need to be a master of T&T. If you haven't already done so, please watch some or all of the inspiration series of videos which show how a wide range of imagined people have used T&T to tackle their unique financial challenges. The best way to learn T&T is to see it in action, and hopefully it will help you to think about your financial challenges and inspire you to create your own T&T plan. Thanks for watching, and remember, play with your plan. Don't take it too seriously and have some fun. It's there to help you make the most of your money and your life.